Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Manaoka Hiko live stream. This is Ho'oponopono, part 2, the power of forgiving. And we are continuing the Ho'oponopono sharing today. We're going to be going a bit deeper into the essence of Ho'oponopono. We're going to explore the Pohakus, the stones, and what they are and what they do. We're also going to be sharing uh, the the traditional understanding of forgiving and forgetting. We will talk about remembering and the power to remember and what that signifies for us in the process of Ho'oponopono. And then we're also going to be talking about the light and the powers of the light that we're born with. And we'll finish with love unconditional. I want to thank you for joining me, and let's do some protocol. E nā kua ke aumakua ke poe kaiko Molokai nui a hina Aloha Aloha Mahalo Pulikako, aloha na kua, na oma kua, na poikai ko mahalo. Mahalo for bringing us here together. Let us continue this journey of sharing Ho'oponopono in its essence and in its depths. Akua, we thank you for all the blessings that you bestow upon us each and every day, and particularly the blessing that you're bestowing upon us right here and now in this moment. To our ancestors, we invite you to be with us. And we thank you as well for this process of Ho'oponopono that you've passed down for our use. And we ask that you surround us and you shield us and guide us and protect us at this time as we endeavor to continue to share the many depths and layers and levels of this traditional process of Ho'oponopono. We thank you once again. We say that we mahalo you from deep, deep within, and also that we aloha you, we love you, and we send this prayer to you now in flight. And in doing so, begin to share. And so we say, Ea mama, ea mama, ea mama, mahalo na kua, let it fly. So once again, everybody, thank you for joining me. This is, once again, it's the Mano Kahiko live stream of the Ho'oponopono 5-part series, which began last week. And we're continuing today. This is part 2. And we're going to be going deeper into the significance of Ho'oponopono, the essence of Ho'oponopono. And so without any further ado, we're going to hop straight into the presentation that I have prepared for us all. So here we are. We are in the Ho'oponopono, the power of forgiving, part 2. It's the live stream that's happening now, September 9th at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. In Hawaii time. We're going to be joined later on by Kumu Nui Lawrence Key, by Kumu, and he'll share with us some deeper essences and meanings and understandings of Ho'oponopono as we move along in this presentation and in this share. So, Um, what we have lined up is we're gonna talk about Ho'oponopono, the essence, and really explore what that essence is and the purpose and reason of Ho'oponopono and the understandings that our ancestors uh, developed to present to us this Ho'oponopono process. Then we're going to move into the exploration of the power of our words, yeah, and the significance of the spoken word, particularly, and how we utilize the power of our words in Ho'oponopono. Pohakus is following, and pohakus are the stones. Yeah, these are the inhibiting um, uh, components that we pick up through our life's experiences and that block our connection, block our light. And we're going to talk about the various kinds of stones that we carry. And we'll also be talking about how we go about finding those stones, those pohakus, within a session of Ho'oponopono. As we continue along, we're going to drop into the significance of forgive and forget, and the ancestral understanding of the purpose of those two in their relationship with one another. Then we'll round out with the power of remember and the power of remembering, and what that means for us in Ho'oponopono as a traditional process. And we'll complete by taking a deeper look into the light that we are born with, the light that we carry. And we will complete and finish with love unconditional, which is one of the great gifts of the light that we're born with. And it's also one of the pillars of the foundation that we speak of and that we share. And it also is um, one of the goals or the achievements that we have to look forward to in fulfilling and completing the traditional process of Ho'oponopono. So once again, I want to thank you all for joining me, and if you're at any point in time you're inspired by what you're hearing or um, what's being shared, and you'd like to leave a comment, by all means, please do so. The comments are live, and I'll be happy to draw up your comment and present it in the live stream, and we can engage in that way and in those comments. So, by all means, if you're inspired by what you're hearing, drop us a comment. We're here to engage. Also, if you have any questions about what you're listening to or any of the specific components that we're going to be exploring today with each other, also drop those in the comments as well. Love to hear from you. Um, and my last little announcement is that, if you want to join us live, then let us know. Let me know. Once again, do it in the comments. Say, hey, I want to join you, and I'm happy to send you the link to so that you can come in through the backside, and we can have you live and asking your question or making your contribution in that way. So don't be shy, don't be maka'u, as we say. Yeah, don't be maka'u, don't be shy, don't be shame. If you'd like to do that, by all means, it's open and you're welcome. Okay, here we go. Let us begin. Ho'oponopono, the essence. Okay. Um, in Ho'oponopono, the essence, what we're really talking about is that Ho'oponopono is a process, first off. And um, And the reason that I'm presenting that now is because many a times um, the more widely known or popularized form of Ho'oponopono um, as a mantra or a series of four phrases. And also we come across it many a times as a prayer, yeah, as a form of prayer. And um, the the traditional method, the traditional practice of Ho'oponopono is indeed a process. And we share, yeah, what I've been doing is sharing with you all the traditional process of Ho'oponopono as it's been passed down through our lineage. Yeah. And this lineage comes from the island of Molokai, from the land district, the Ahupua'a of Halawa. And and I'm sharing that so that we can make a very clear distinguishment in the popular use of Ho'oponopono in today's modern times, and the traditional process which we're sharing and discussing here with all of you, um, which is which again comes from a very old lineage. There's 51 generations of this lineage that I belong to, and and we share, we practice, we perpetuate and preserve and uh, and pass down these traditional processes and practices of our Hawaiian ancestry. So I just wanted to make that clear here as we begin to explore the essence of Ho'oponopono. Um, this is a once again, this is a traditional practice and it is a process. Our ancestors developed Ho'oponopono as a means of making things right within the family. And anytime, anytime in the ohana, when there's any kind of pilikia, or there's an individual family member that is inflicted with illness or disease, then in this older time, the elder of the ohana, what we call the kupuna, right? Our kupuna, the elder of the family would gather together the family, and they would engage in ho'oponopono, right? And the elder would conduct this session of Ho'oponopono with the family, and the family would gather three, four, five, six, seven generations deep just in the living alone. Yeah. And then through prayer and protocols and ceremony, then we would include, our ancestors would then invite, the kupuna would then invite the generations of ancestors in the spirit realm to be present to participate in the Ho'oponopono as well, right? So, and in this older form, every single family member that had gathered would share what they had thought, what they had said, or what they had done that had contributed to this family member's illness. And it was seen and understood that it was only at that time, after the individual that was ill had forgiven and released all of the family members and the contributions that they brought forward, um, that true healing could actually take place. So this really signals for you the importance and the significance of Ho'oponopono as a process, right? So this was actually something that was done within the entirety of the family. It was conducted, it was orchestrated, it was guided by an elder, um, and it would last for as long as it needed to, until forgiveness was assured, in the releasing of whatever the root cause of that illness or disease had been identified and removed, could could the Ho'oponopono come to a conclusion? Now, Ho'oponopono as a process requires all of the pillars of the way of thinking and the way of life of our ancestors. Okay. And what we're sharing here, right, in this traditional process, what we're sharing at this moment is that the pillars of the way of life and the way of thinking, which consist of akua, which is, you know, it's the higher being. It's that higher power, that higher force that you believe in. Yeah. And making right that relationship and also inviting that presence to be with you, with us in Ho'oponopono, because actually that's who's doing Ho'oponopono. Yeah. That's the source of healing power. So that's one of the pillars of this foundation that we're speaking of. It's one of the pillars of the way of life and the way of thinking of our ancestors. There's multitudes of them. So akua is one, puli, prayer, is another, ohana, family, is another, hana, the work, is another, makaukau, right? Aloha, unconditional love, is a very important and significant pillar within this way of life and way of thinking. You also have Oia I'o, which is the spirit of truth, the essence of truth, right? So all of these pillars were needed to be in their rightful place, yeah, and you needed to be living your lives in your life in accordance to these pillars, yeah, so that the foundation was strong and the relationship could be uh, made free and clear, right? Um, Without really very directly speaking about Ho'oponopono, yeah, in its ancient form and in its and today in these modern times, right? The Ho'oponopono, yeah, is is it's nothing without the pillars. It's nothing without the foundation, right? Actually, all of the practices of our ancestors really um, are they have form, but if the essence isn't there, then there's no connection, right? So this is really the deeper significance of what we're conveying here with the in the essence of Ho'oponopono, the the need for the pillars of the way of life, the way of thinking, to be where they need to be. Here's the last component. This traditional style of Ho'oponopono has been passed down through our lineage of 50 generations of the 51st, which stems from the Valley of Halava on the island of Molokai. So once again, that's just to establish for everyone that's tuning in um, where this process, where this knowledge, where this wisdom is coming from. Excuse me, I have to cough. So now that we're really starting to move here in establishing the understanding, the background understanding of Ho'oponopono as a process, now we can drop in further all the way into the essence. And this is a story that shares with us exactly that, the essence of Ho'oponopono. And it also serves as an example. I introduced this story last week in the first Ho'oponopono live stream. And what this story shares with us is as exactly as I just said. It shares with us the essence. It shares with us. It also serves as an example. And what I mean by that is that this story of the bowl of light, yeah, and this is in this form, yeah, this mo'olelo, this is the form that I was taught, yeah, of this story from my Kumu. And what this shares with us is that when we're born with a perfect bowl of light. And this light allows us to fly with the birds, to swim with the fish, to speak to the wind and to the trees, to do all things. We have a tendency as humans of picking up what our ancestors called pohakus. Yeah, we're going to get further into the pohakus in just a moment. The pohakus are stones. Yeah. And every time that we pick up a stone and we place it into our bowl of light, the light will dim because light and stone cannot hold the same space. And we can come to a place in our lives where we have picked up many stones within our bowl, that it is said our light no longer shines and we ourselves become stone. However, it's at that very moment in time in the mo'olelo, in the story, that our ancestors also share with us that if we should tire of carrying the stones, we simply have to huli. We have to turn the bowl upside down and dump the stones out. And this allows our light to shine brightly once again. So that mo'olelo, it captures the essence of the process of ho'oponopono. And the essence of ho'oponopono is we're going in, we are taking your bowl of light up, we're taking your bowl of light, we're turning it upside down, and we're removing the stones so that the light can shine brightly again. Yeah. And that's also presenting for us an example of what's happening in Ho'oponopono. And once again, what's happening in Ho'oponopono is we're coming together, as a ohana. We're coming together as a ohana, and the conductor, either myself or the elder, of the family that's conducting Ho'oponopono, that's executing Ho'oponopono, takes us through the process to turn the bowl of light upside down, to dump the stones out so that our light can shine brightly once again and our connection is free and clear. Yeah. So that's the essence, literally the essence of Ho'oponopono. Here's a quick quote. When you're ready, it will happen. Okay. And what I mean by this is that many people that come to us for Ho'oponopono, they come with an understanding about what Ho'oponopono is. And it's important that we share the traditional process that we have been taught and that we practice and do with others, in its entirety, in its fullness, so that individual, can be a willing participant in what they understand and what they know about Ho'oponopono after we have an opportunity to share with them what that process actually is. Yeah. And every single person becomes ready, at their own place and time. Yeah. So when an individual is ready to do Ho'oponopono, then it will happen. It cannot be forced, and it cannot be something that is done unwillingly. Yeah. So another component of that quote, of my quote that I just wanted to share, is that it's very simple. When you feel it and there's something that you want to get rid of, and when you are ready to let it go, it will happen. It won't happen until you are ready. Okay. So let's continue on. The power of our words. Now, look, we are going deep. We're going deep into the power of our words right now. And before I continue on, I want to drop over here into the comments. Whoa, okay. Aloha. Yes, Kalena. Aloha. I'm glad you're joining in. Dynamic Jennifer is dropping in again. Aloha, waving at you. Ganai Smeets, Kalabai, if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. And Kalabai me, excuse me, anybody out there that if I end up butchering your name, please excuse me. Yeah. But there you are. Good morning from Belgium. I would love to join the live stream. Oh, okay. Oh, well then let's do it. Love to have you join me as well. So let's do that. And let's see. Gunai Smeets, I'm going to drop the link right into the comments section. So if you just tap on it, you'll be able to join in. It's uploading now, so you know. Okay, so you use that link, and then as soon as you tap on that link, I'll and you come in, I'll be able to see you in the on the backside. Happy to have you. Okay. Melchior von Renterham, my brother, I love you, man. Thank you for being here. Aloha from Switzerland. There you are. Boom. Mark Pritchard, also lovely, lovely man. Glad to have you here from Ottawa, Canada. And we've got Kristen Lindsay. And Kristen, you're asking a question. Here we go. Here's a question from Kristen Lindsay. Aloha Kumu. What do you do if the person you are trying to make right with doesn't agree with looking at their own actions? Then, very directly, Christine, there's nothing that can be done. Yeah. So if that individual doesn't want to look at it, doesn't want to work with it, doesn't want to engage in ho'oponopono to resolve it, then they can't, right? However, that does not mean that you, as the individual that's wanting to work with it, that's wanting to make it free and clear, that does not suggest in any way that you cannot. Yeah. So that's what's important with ho'oponopono, particularly as an essence, and to answer your question, yeah, is that if you make it the effort, yeah, if you initiate the effort to say, hey, look, we have a pilikio, we have a problem, we have a trouble here, we have a dis-ease amongst us. I'm inviting you to come into ho'oponopono with me to resolve it. Yeah. And if they say no, well, then that's their answer. Yeah. And it's done. What it does is frees and clears you to do the work that you need to do in Ho'oponopono on an individual basis. Yeah. But at least you've made an effort. You've offered an opportunity to work with them in Ho'oponopono to have it done. Yeah. But if an individual is unwilling, if an individual does not want to look at their own actions, then there's nothing that can be done there with them. Yeah, there has to be a willingness all the way around. Okay, so mahalo. And if you and you know what, Kristen, if you have any follow up question about that, then by all means, go ahead and get back to me in the comments. Okay, so mahalo, Kristen, for that. Okay, and oh yeah, and there you are. Boop. Mahalo, Kumu, Kristen. Okay, thank you, Kristen. All right, so we've got we've got Katie in the back in the broadcast. We've got Gunya in the broadcast. I am gonna bring Gunya up first. So I hope you're ready, Gunya, because I'm bringing you on live now. Aloha. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Oh, you've turned off your video. And I cannot hear you. Okay, all right, she dropped out. Okay, well, we're coming to you then, Katie. Aloha.
Aloha. I did
Aloha.
I did not realize what I got myself into.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but you're here. So what's up? You got a question? You got something for us?
Sorry, I actually just saw that you were live and I saw the link and I clicked on it and I'm like, what? This is strange. I really didn't know um what exactly, like, just like I said, what I was getting myself into, but and you're talking about forgiveness, right? I like I said, I literally just walked into your live.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're talking about forgiveness. We're
okay.
talking about ho'oponopono.
Got it. Okay. I mean, I really wish I would have heard from the beginning. uh, but I mean, I guess the only thing I have to add is just um, from what I understand of Ho'oponopono and the pillars. I know forgiveness is a huge asset of it, and not just forgiveness, but like you guys have mentioned before, is completely just forgetting it ever happened and focusing on the healing and yeah, that's that's all I can think of sharing at the moment. But thanks
But
for
no,
bringing
that's
it up.
perfect. And well, I got you here, and because you brought that component up, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it now. We were going to talk about it later, but hey, look, you brought it, and it's happening. So, this component of forgetting is really something that many people struggle with when it comes to Ho'oponopono, right? And it, it's one of the components of the traditional process of Ho'oponopono that we're continually clarifying for people because it's very difficult um, for many to grasp and to fully understand. And with this component of forgetting, and I'm sure that you've heard me or Kumu Lawrence talking about it somewhere, previously and probably in Clubhouse. Um, but this component of forgetting that I want to make clear for everyone here is that our ancestors are not asking us to pretend that our experiences never happened, right? And many a times that's one of the biggest hurdles that an individual needs to get over in order to be able to fully engage in Ho'oponopono with us. And because many times what we hear is, "Oh well, I'm happy to forgive, but I'll never forget." Right? And so that's a totally different um that's a totally different understanding than what our ancestors are sharing with us in this component. And to make it really clear for everyone, what our ancestors are asking us to forget is the stone, right? The stone is the pohaku. Yeah. The pohaku is in representation of that fear, that anger, that hatred that we experience, and that we have a tendency of picking up through our life experiences. So,
Yeah, that's something that's definitely, I think, been more clear to me based on what Kumu has talked about it recently, and I think even Melinda and
mm,
on her I think the crutches room that they're doing.
yeah,
Those are, those are really useful. And I mean, it's like you said, it's not that our ancestors want us to forget um, what happened. It's just, like you said, get rid of the stone. Which, now that you said it that way, makes a lot more sense. I think
yeah,
people think when they hear you or Kumu say, forget about it and don't ever speak of it. It feels like you're taking away something, or people feel like something's being taken away from their lives that they've had for a really
mhm,
long time. So I can totally understand why people hesitate with that aspect of Ho'oponopono.
yeah,
Yeah, that's really interesting. So
yeah, absolutely. And here, you know what? Because since we're totally snapping into it here. Um, when people bring that. that point up that you just spoke, right? That they feel like they're um, that we're that there's something being taken away from their experience or from their life. Yeah. Um, really, really directly speaking, why not? Yeah. When we're talking about some of the most horrific experiences that people can go through, that people are dealing with in Ho'oponopono, what what is the hesitation from being able to conceptualize forgetting in that way? Yeah. Um, so, but we totally understand how difficult that is. Yeah, and it's just like you said, you know, when when you've when you've carried a pohaku for so long, yeah, when you've nurtured it and you've cared for it and you've made it this precious thing as a as a really uh, a significant or important component of who you are as an individual or as a person or the wholeness of your being. Well, we totally understand what it means um, to to struggle with wanting to let that go, or the ability even to let that go. So, thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate you. Um, you dropped out for a second, but hey, look, I'll bring you on just to wrap it up.
Mhm.
I'll bring you back on just to wrap it up. Um, so yeah, those are some of the layers of that component of forgetting and what it all means, you know. And okay, so even there was a moment when I was going into a Ho'oponopono session with another individual, and we shared about the significance of forgiving and forgetting. And I shared the significance of forgiving and forgetting. And I also shared that there are consequences for speaking about, yeah, whatever the pohaku is, whatever the stone is, that's released in Ho'oponopono. Yeah, that there are consequences for talking about it after the Ho'oponopono session has come to a close. And that really um, it created a very emotional trigger for her, right? She was really resisting this individual was really resisting the 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 understanding or the concept of consequence. Yeah. and and the reason I'm sharing that with you is to demonstrate how hard some people hold on to those pohakus. Yeah.
Yeah.
and and so we fully understand, and it's hardcore.
Mm.
But the light, it's all about that light, it's all about that connection. It's and once we're able to understand that on all levels, then there's a much more open receptiveness and a willingness to do it, right?
Mm. Yeah. The only thing I was thinking about right now is just oh my gosh, I completely lost how I wanted to frame this, but oh yes, somebody also recently talked to me about the the fact that these stones have basically guided our way of life for maybe our entire life. Most people that come to you are adult lives, correct? And they these stones have guided our life, and they served a purpose at one point to protect us, but we held on to them, like you said. And I think that that's what makes it more difficult. It's the stone protected somebody at a certain time that worked, but then that was kind of how they kept reacting to similar situations or something that triggered that emotion. And so I think that we that's why we have an attachment to them, and it's
Mhm.
difficult, like you mentioned, for some people to just really let go. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. Well, okay. Oh, you got me. You got me in and out. Yeah. No, no, this is perfect. No, this is good. This is really nice, actually. This is really the first, Katie, you're the first live engagement,
Oh,
so this is, I'm totally about it right now. I'm loving it. So good. Look, I hear you, and I love the way that you put it. And here's some cultural clarity, some traditional cultural clarity about that. Yeah. And I was talking about this recently too, like maybe a couple weeks ago, actually, maybe about a month ago, really, um, in one of the rooms in Clubhouse. And the discussion was about um, the positivity of being angry. Yeah. The positive aspects of being angry. And it was a very interesting conversation. Um, and what I found was that, everyone that was coming up and contributing and participating and engaging was talking about how anger served them, yeah, in their lives. How many of them felt that they wouldn't be who they were if they hadn't been, angry at those points. So, and just as you brought forward that it served its purpose, right? Or it served it contributed to, yeah, the betterment of that person. And here's what I shared to them. And this was in a room of about 582 people.
oh wow.
And it was a room it was a room that had been going on for 48 hours, right? And I was listening to it. Finally came around to my turn, and I said to everyone in the room, and to the moderators too, I said, please, call me, please excuse me, but I'm aware, and I'm fully understand that what I'm about to share with everyone here at this moment in time is in direct opposition to what I've been listening to for the last hour and a bit. Yeah. And here's the point. Here's what I shared. And it's to the point that you just brought up. Yeah. when we when we pick up anger, yeah, when we pick up a pohaku, yeah, we understand fully, yeah, on a traditional cultural perspective, we understand fully what the purpose and the reason of that pohaku is. Yeah. We don't misconstrue it. Yeah. And when we overcome the pohaku, yeah, in our culture, in our heritage, in the spirituality of our ancestors, when we overcome it, when we when we discover the strength to let it go and to fully forgive it and let it go, yeah, we don't give the pohaku, yeah, we don't give the anger praise, right? We don't turn around and say, "Oh, I would never be who I am if I hadn't been angry." No. Instead, what we do is we give that praise to where it rightfully belongs. And that praise rightfully belongs to our ancestors. That praise rightfully belongs to the light that we're born with, because it's actually the light and your ancestors and your guardians and the higher power that gave you the strength to overcome it in the first place. Yeah. So we don't confuse it in our traditional teachings and understanding. We don't confuse the anger for what it is. Yeah. And we're also at a place in these times, yeah, we're also at a place on a cultural level where we're no longer tolerating, yeah, the we're no longer tolerating the pohaku to convince us that it is something other than what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just some of the background, um, cultural perspective on that point that you just brought up. You know, the truth is, and this is yeah, this is the essence, the spirit of truth that I'm sharing with you. One of the principles that you've heard us talking about, right? The truth is that The pohaku of anger, its only purpose is to keep you angry.
Yeah.
It's not there to teach you a lesson. Yeah, it's not there. It's not there for you to later on to be like, oh wow, I'm so glad that that happened to me because I wouldn't be who I am. We understand those. We understand those statements. We understand that we understand it. Basically, is what I'm trying to get across. But the other point is that anger is anger, and it's got to be let go. Yes, experience it. Yes, acknowledge it for what it is. I really acknowledge it for what it is, and then let it go. Yeah. And that goes with any of the other pohakus that we that we have a tendency to pick up. Thank you so much, Katie. Yes.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be your guinea pig.
Yeah, yeah. This is awesome. Cool.
Okay.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to share or?
No, not that I can think of in the moment, to tell you the truth. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, look, and thank you for dropping in. It was yeah, meant to be. I'm glad you tapped that tapped that link.
I'm like, what is this linked? Not knowing what I'm getting myself into. Just like follow the rabbit, follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, Kawika.
Thank you,
I
Mahalo, and
appreciate everything you and Kumu do to provide information for us. It's really life changing. So
Mahalo. Okay, hui ho,
aloha.
aloha. Oh wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I'll probably continue thanking you throughout the duration of this live broadcast. Gunya, Smeets, tried to get you in the background. I see you pop up a couple times. There must be something going on with your reception or your connection. And so, if you manage to get it sorted out, I'd be happy to have you come back in. Um, okay, I wanna drop in. Oh, okay. We're going in. Okay, Gunya, are you ready now? Here we go. Let's give it a try. Oh, okay.
Hey.
We're going in. Okay,
Aloha.
Gunya, are you ready now?
Aloha. Can you hear me?
Okay, so yes, I can hear you, but can you mute the other device that you have me playing on because it's coming back?
That's the problem. I don't know how.
Okay, so yes, I can hear you, but can you mute the other device that you have me playing on because it's coming back?
That's the problem. I don't know how.
Okay, so yes, I can hear you, but can you mute the other device that you have me playing on because it's coming back?
That's the problem. I don't know how.
Okay, so yes, I can hear you, but can you mute the other device that you have me playing on because it's coming back? Okay, well, while you get that figured out, I'm gonna remove you. You're still in the background. Okay, you're still in the broadcast. Yeah, so when you've got it all sorted, give me a thumbs up, and I can see you, and then I'm happy to have you come on. Until then, let's continue on with the presentation, everyone. Okay, words have power, of course. Yes, of course they do. The power of words. Ho'oponopono. Okay, here we go, everyone. In Ho'oponopono, we implore the power of the spoken word, yeah, on a spiritual level to heal. Okay, and I would just want to say that one more time, right? In Ho'oponopono, in traditional Ho'oponopono as a process, right? We are imploring, yeah, the power of the spoken word on a spiritual level to heal, to forgive. Yeah. So once again, the what our ancestors share with us is that our words have power. And so when we say I love you, yeah, this creates life. When we say I hate you, yeah, this creates death, right? So this again, that's a very clear, direct example of the power of our spoken word. So for this reason and many others, uh, our ancestors were very mindful. They were very specific with the words that they spoke. You know? And given the power of the spoken word, yeah, they they always spoke in metaphor and in symbology. They never spoke about anything directly. Yeah. Again, this is part of the way of thinking and the way of living of our ancestors that I'm sharing. Yeah. So the power of the spoken word is what we are utilizing in Ho'oponopono to identify the stones, yeah, to fully to vet out to bring forward all the layers of a pohaku or stone that need to be brought forward in order for it to be let go. And we're utilizing our words to do that. Yeah. We're also utilizing our words, yeah, to present the questions that need to be asked in Ho'oponopono to arrive at the stones. Yeah. So once again, in Ho'oponopono, we implore the power of the spoken word on a spiritual level to heal. Pohakus, okay? Pohakus are the stones, and the stones represent fear, anger, hatred, sadness, doubt, worry, jealousy. The list goes on with the kinds of stones that we have a tendency of carrying around. Yeah. And what those stones do is they block our light. So for us, it's really important. This speaks to and becomes a representation for us of the importance of releasing those pohakus so that our light can shine once again. As we move along, right? How do we find stones? Okay, so finding stones requires the power of prayer. Yep. And we use the power of prayer in order to set the confines in which we conduct Ho'oponopono as a process. It's the sacred prayer creates the sacred container in which we fulfill Ho'oponopono as a process. Yeah. And we utilize the way in which we find the stones within a session of Ho'oponopono is we are asking clear and direct, non-leading questions. Yeah. And the answers to these questions will take us to the stones that an individual carries. Yeah. So how an individual answers the questions that are brought forward, and how an individual answers those questions is going to take us to the pohakus that uh, that we carry, yeah, or that we have a tendency of carrying. Our connection to our ancestors will provide us with the questions. Okay. So many of you, after hearing that, might have asked, okay, well, well, what kinds of questions are you asking, and where are they coming from? So, and that's the answer, right? The connection that we have to our ancestors, our guardians, and to that higher power, yeah, to the higher beings, yeah, what we call our akua, our akua, our aumakua, and our poikahiko. They are providing us with those questions. And so this speaks to us of the significance and the importance of us as the conductor, as the executioner of Ho'oponopono, what we call a luna. Yeah, a luna Ho'oponopono. This is someone who understands the vastness of the process. It's our connection, yeah, that our ancestors are utilizing to send us the questions that need to be asked in a session of Ho'oponopono. Right? So, for this reason, us as the executioners, us as the conductors of Ho'oponopono, um, our connection must be free and clear. This is why we say, in order to be able to do Ho'oponopono, your connection to the higher being or beings that you believe in must be made right. Yeah, must be made free and clear first before doing Ho'oponopono for others. Yeah. So, okay. We got a couple more. Okay, right on. Dynamic Jennifer, she's just saying, thank you for clarifying the forgetting aspect. Absolutely no problem. Um, no problem. You know that's a big one. Donna, my haumana, woohoo! She's in the zone. Aloha mai kako, malama pono, mahalo na kua. Uh, do do do. Dynamic Jennifer. Okay, good. You guys are engaging with each other. I'm not going to bother bringing those up. Oh, Betsy saying good morning. Aloha and good morning, Betsy. Joe Rick saying aloha. Great and fantastic. So here's another moment. Just if you have any questions, make sure either to drop them in the comment section, or if you're inspired and you'd like to, I'm more than happy to broadcast the link so you can join me on the back end, and you can join me live, and we can hash it out live. Hash it out live. Okay, so let's get back into it. Let's finish this up. Oh, there's the forgive and forget component again. Okay, so here we go. We finished this, right? Finding stones, power of prayer. Yes, we did this. Okay, so again, clear, direct, and non-leading questions. This is a really important component, and I just want to talk about this one for a little bit. The clear, direct, non-leading questions. Okay, so in Ho'oponopono, everyone forgives in their own way. In Ho'oponopono, and everyone demonstrates that forgiveness in their own way. Yeah. So in Ho'oponopono, we ask clear and direct, non-leading questions, yeah, that leaves the power to do Ho'oponopono between the individual and the higher being that they believe in, or the higher power that they believe in. At no point in time do we step in as the Luna Ho'oponopono, as the conductors of Ho'oponopono, and say, did you have a shitty relationship with your mother? Yeah. That kind of behavior, that kind of action is actually intolerable in the process of Ho'oponopono on a traditional basis. Yeah. To assume. Yeah. We do not assume. Yeah. And we're definitely not presenting the questions in a way that sways the answer one way or the other. So this, coupled with everyone forgives in their own way. Some people forgive with an emotional expression, with tears, with laughter, with sadness. Yeah. Some people forgive with neither one of those. For some people, forgiveness is is simply is simply presenting what needs to be presented and then saying, right, I'm done. Yes, I forgive. And it's that simple. So at no point are we judging, yeah, what that forgiveness looks like with that individual. We're never putting another person in a place where they have to justify what what their process is. So that's that's part of that's part of this component that I wanted to just make really clear. Yeah. Clear in the clear, direct, and non-leading questions. Yeah. We're asking things like, what is the relationship like with your mother? Not, did you have a really bad relationship with your mom? That's the difference. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. We did this. Yeah. Our connection to our ancestors will provide us with the questions. Absolutely. So you better make sure that your connection to your ancestors is free and clear. Yeah. Forgive and forget. Okay. So this component we pretty much hashed out all the way with Katie. Um, but because we're here and we're on it, I'll just touch on it briefly a little bit more. Right? It's simply speaking that to forgive, we must also forget. Yeah. In the understanding of our ancestors, to truly forgive, we must also forget. Knowing and understanding full well today, yeah, the struggle that many people are faced with when they're uh, when they're faced with the component of forgetting. Yeah. And once again, the clarification there is we're not, yeah, forgetting that your experiences ever happened. We're forgetting the hurt, the pain, the fear, the anger that those experiences have caused you, or that have caused us. So, and that's pretty much as much as I'm inspired to hash that one again. You can only beat it. You can't beat a dead horse, really. So here we go. Remember, here's the good part, right? This is the good stuff. Yeah. Remember the light. Yeah. And this is what we're remembering. In remembering, we're returning to the fullness of our light and the wholeness of our being. So what that means many a times, what that means in Ho'oponopono is we're going back, yeah, to we're going back into the past to get to the stone, yeah, to get to the Pohaku. Yeah. And once you're there and you're faced with it, then it's about forgiving and forgetting it. Yeah. And then we go further beyond, yeah, that Pohaku after it's released and forgiven. Yeah. And what I mean by that is we're remembering how you were, yeah, the state of your being the fullness of your light, the wholeness of your being before the experience occurred. So those are the three components. Yeah. These are all cycles. Yeah. And they take their own time, they take their own duration. Yeah. Depending on the individual. But these are the three cycles that of forgiving, forgetting, and remembering, yeah, that need to be presented, yeah, and made really clear, um, for anybody that's inspired to do Ho'oponopono with us, yeah, to engage in this traditional process of Ho'oponopono. And once again, the remembering is the good stuff. Yeah. It's about your light. So that's exactly what we're going to get bit into right now. The light. It's remembering that we're born with it. Yeah. Even in that story of the bowl of light, the bowl of light, right at the beginning of that mo'olelo, that shares with us the essence of Ho'oponopono and serves as an example for us of what we're doing in Ho'oponopono. It starts with the words, when you were born. Okay. So when you were born with a perfect bowl of light. Perfect. Right? Pure, innocent, bright, shiny, sparkly, full blast light. Yeah. And and this light, it grants to us it grants to us, the light represents the essence of your being, and it also provides us with specific qualities of spirit. Okay. So this light that you're born with, yeah, which is pure and bright and strong and brilliant and sparkling, yeah, at the time of your birth, yeah, it represents the essence of your being on a metaphoric and symbolic and also on a literal level. It is your light. And this light provides us with specific qualities of spirit. Yeah. Qualities that are all your own. Yeah. When Lawrence was talking to me about these qualities, yeah, he spoke about it in terms of it being my flair. Yeah. And he literally said to me, Kawika, and this was when I was preparing to move out of Halava, right? Preparing to move out of Halava and start doing life, right? Doing life outside of Halava, outside of his domain, the domain of tutelage and learning, right? And he said to me before I had packed up my bags and left, he said, Kavika, no matter what happens, no matter what you do, never lose your flair. Yeah. And that flair, that's how it's your light. It's your light, it's your qualities of character. It's how you laugh, it's 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 what makes you sing, it's what makes you do art, it's what makes you care or be a provider, it's what makes you, yeah, and the nuances of who you are. Everything that you've gone through, all the highs, all the lows, boom, the tempering of your light, yeah, and the growth and the shifting of it. The growth light is continually expanding. Yeah. The light that we're born with is continually expanding. Yeah. So at its purest state when we're born, yeah. And then for many of us, right? Then it starts to, you start picking up stones and it starts to dim, and then life's experiences temper it, right? And but in that growth, yeah, in that expansion of the light, well, then it becomes how you demonstrate it. Yeah. And once again, my teacher always spoke to me about it in terms of my flair. And he said, Kawika, never lose your flair. So that's that part. Okay, the light. And here is the last and final component of this presentation. Love unconditional. Okay, this is aloha. Yeah. And our ability to love unconditionally is one of the great gifts of our light. So, anytime we pick up a pohaku, anytime we pick up a stone and we place it within our beings, if we're angry, we cannot love unconditionally. If you hate, then you're not loving unconditionally. It means you're blocking your light. Okay? Love unconditional is one of the qualities that the light offers to us. Yeah, it's the one of the abilities that it grants us to be able to do. And loving unconditionally doesn't just mean, yeah, aloha doesn't just mean, okay, my human family. Yeah. My brothers, my sisters, my mom, my dad. Even though many a times today, it's those exact relationships actually. It's those exact relationships that are causing the most pohakus. Oh, but hey, look, loving unconditionally doesn't just mean your immediate family. This love unconditional, this aloha that our ancestors is talking to us about, yeah, we're extending it to everyone and to everything in this universe. We're talking about loving unconditionally the wind, the trees, the sun, the moon, the ocean. Yeah. Your best friend, your lover, and your enemy. Unconditionally. Yeah. Aloha and the essence of aloha extends to all of them. Yeah. So that's the fullness of that love. And again, that aloha, that unconditional love is a quality, is a gift that the light provides to us. So this speaks to the abilities and the power of the light that we're born with. Limitless. And in the story of the bowl of light, yeah, it's the light that allows us to fly with the birds, to swim with the fish, to speak to the wind and to the trees, to do all things in this universe. Oh, mahalo everyone for being here and being with me in this um, live presentation, this live stream of Ho'oponopono, The Power to Forgive, Part 2. We are complete. I want to, Katie, you're still with me here in the broadcast. Do you want to come back on and make a final contribution? Or you have something? Here, I'm going to bring you on anyway.
Oh my goodness, this is too funny.
You got something in closing?
I don't. Well, actually, I kind of do, because I think this is the first time I've heard the "You Are Light" part, and that one really hit, here. So that hearing that part, or hearing the whole process, even though I was late, I think most of the other things I've heard, but hearing that part really just, I felt it here. So
Yeah.
that was beautiful. So thank you.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. And of course, you know what I mean? That's what it's talking to us about. Yeah, it's that light is that quality that we carry, we're born with. And that, just you're inspiring me to talk about, that's what we're remembering. Yeah. Ho'oponopono, we're uncovering that light. Yeah. that many times has been blocked. So we're uncovering it so that we can get back to remembering it, remembering us. You know, we're not our stones, and we're not the experiences that have caused the stones. Yeah. We're light. Yeah, that's what it is. We're born with it. We're spirit. We're light. We're that first. Yeah. We were that first. Yeah, we were that coming into this experience. So, and we strive. Yeah, and so I'm so thankful to our ancestors for. And look, I'll say it this way though. I'm so thankful to our ancestors for providing this kind of a process for us, right? A process that they knew we would require at some point in time in our lives to get back to, yeah, that light. They knew the hardships, they knew the struggles, they knew the weightiness of the stones that we could carry. And that's why Ho'oponopono is such an incredible process to do, is they left it there for that purpose, to assist us in remembering that light, the light that we are. So, anyway, mahalo. Cool. All done? All right. We'll see you next time, Katie. Or the next zone, you know, wherever we meet up.
Yes. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Okay, everyone. um Gunya, thank you, Jennifer, and maybe it will work from my phone. Okay. Gunya, I didn't see you be able to pop on back in here. So um maybe we'll get it, maybe you can get it sorted for next week. Yeah, next week we're doing a live stream again. So I'd love to have you come on for that one. But here we are, everyone. This is just for everyone's reference. Join us next week, September 16th at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, at September the 8th at 7 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, just so that everyone knows. And it will be the Ho'oponopono, uh, the power of forgiving, part 3. So love to have you join me for that. Really appreciate everyone's presence that came through, the comments that happened. My first live broadcast engagement, interview action happening with you, Katie. That was so awesome. Thank you again for making that happen. And Gunya, let's make it happen next week for sure. And a hui ho, as we say. Yeah, until we meet again. And hopefully it's next week for part 3. Malama pono, aloha, everyone. Yeah, aloha. I love you unconditionally. And malama pono, take care of your pono. And we'll see you next week. A hui ho. 3, 2, 1.